Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
It's wonderful to be here, and I hope you know that you are changing and improving other people's lives by caring for what you have done, and also by telling us about it.
I'm going to describe someone, and I want you to guess who. He has bad hair, he's overweight, he likes walls, junk food, lying, bragging, and controlling the media. He inherited his wealth, and he leads a country. Now, if you think I'm talking about Donald Trump, you're actually incorrect. I'm talking about a different leader, Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un has no sense of responsibility to the people he governs, yet he has all the power, which is not okay. When I was researching a topic to do, I stumbled upon a North Korean documentary, and that got me interested in North Korea.
Hello, my name is Alex, and today I will be talking about antibiotic resistance. People create resistance when they use the wrong doses of antibiotics. It mostly happens when people stop taking the antibiotic too early and the bacteria start to recover. I chose this topic because I was learning about it one day with my mom, and I thought it was really interesting.
Imagine a barren wasteland without trees and without clean air. That is what would happen if deforestation continues. I think now that I've researched a lot more about trees and about deforestation, I think trees are a lot more important than I used to think about them. Around 7 million hectares of forest is lost each year and will only rise if we don't do anything.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In those 5 seconds, 78 people in the world have just died from the complications of added sugar consumption.
I don't think people really know what they're eating.
Much of the plastic we use, not all of it, but a lot of it, ends up one way or another in the ocean. It adds to the plastic already there and creates havoc. Recycling is not a perfect solution to the plastic problem. I would like to share with you the 6 R's. I chose this topic because I really love the sea and marine life, but we're not doing anything about this.
I came from a family of 9, and I have 6 siblings in the Philippines. We are all lucky to be here, but most of you are lucky by birth. My luck was a little different. As a young kid, I saw and experienced poverty.
I think this topic is important because I want other kids to have the opportunity to get out of poverty.
Poverty is a condition when people have little or no money and no material goods. They may not be able to get a good education, travel, or have enough to eat or drink.
I chose chicken abuse at Tyson's because I love animals, and chickens are my favorite farm animals.
There are more humane ways to kill these chickens. They use the abusive way because it's cheaper and requires less time.
My Jazzy topic was endangered species.
Endangered species means that plant or animal species exist in such small number that's becoming endangered. Most of the animals killed for fur are born in the fur industry, but some are hunted by trappers who sell their catch to the fur industry for profit.
Who's evil enough to buy fur if they actually know where it comes from?
The reason why people smoke a lot is because it's addictive. Once you start smoking, it is very difficult to stop, and people spend lots of money on feeding the smoking habit. Money that they could be spending on other more positive things. Did you know that the ocean dying affects us as well? 70 to 75 million tons of fish are caught in the ocean every year.
All these problems are making the world a bigger problem, and it makes it harder for us to clean up.
I didn't know that lots of companies were tested on animals.
Animal cruelty is basically when someone hurts an animal or does not care for an animal responsibly, like not giving a dog or cat food and water.
Water shortage means that we do not have enough fresh and clean water to use or live with. Without water, you cannot do simple things like the dishes, laundry, wash hands, shower, water plants, and much more.
You all picked some wonderful topics to talk about. They're really important. Any one of them is really very important. Any one of them requires a lot of work to make our world a better place. So it's up to you all. So I had my time in. I had 33 years as a diplomat. It was fun. Some of you will want perhaps some diplomas here elsewhere. I hope you have as satisfying and fun a career as I did. With that, let me hand it over to the students to take over.
So it's great to be here listening to a group of young people of your age who are passionate and engaged and interested in.
Child labor is very different to doing chores or having a first job to earn pocket money. Currently, there are 250 million child laborers globally. The average working age around the globe is 14, yet almost 50% of child laborers are 12 or under.
I used to think that child labor was just working in sweatshops, but now I know that it's more than that and it's all around the world.
Have you ever been treated differently by someone because of the color of your skin, the country where you came from? If your answer is yes, then you were a victim of a huge problem in a world that's known as discrimination. Discrimination is when people make fun of other people because of the color of their skin, nationality, ethnic origin, or immigrant status. As a result, discrimination hurts everyone in our community and our world. I chose the topic because racism is a really global issue and it affects everyone in the world.
Let me ask you a question. Who here has had fast food recently? You're consuming so many calories, too many calories in fact, that your body can't handle anymore. The main problem with fast food is people say they don't have enough money to buy anything else.
Fast food is a problem because so many people fall into its trap that they don't realize how bad it is for you.
Depression is the stage when a person has feelings of relentless sadness about things they normally do.
It's important because lots of people suffer from this and lots of people are isolated.
Believe it or not, depression can also change people's capability of functioning.
The more people care, the more likely people will reach out.
How many of you have bought a plastic bottle in the last month? If you have, raise your hands. I used to think that just one bit of rubbish, one plastic bag wouldn't make any difference. But now I think that one plastic bag could make a really big impact. Most plastic bottles that aren't recycled go into the sea. And those bottles that go into the sea, they kill the animals that live in the sea. They wipe out species that live in the sea. And they harm the ecosystem very badly. When they think it's one plastic bag a day, it's probably something like 500, maybe 1,000 plastic bags a day, possibly even more.
Leather sounds fancy, clean, and nice, but in reality, the process of making it can be terribly cruel.
The things that I found out that were shocking to me were people die before the age of 50 working there, and they also get very sick.
The leather industry involves people killing innocent animals just for their own benefit, and in the process of making leather, hurting both workers and nearby residents because there are so many hazardous chemicals involved.
Male killer whales normally live to 60 to 70 years old in the wild, but in captivity they only live to about 30 years old. I used to think that it was interesting to see them flop around with people on them, but now I think it is cruel to take them from their homes and put them in a tank.
Gun crime across the world is a problem that's increasing. Studies show that Americans are 25 times more likely to be murdered with a gun than people in other developed countries.
Every year, Hong Kong produces 6 million tons of trash. Only 2% of trash is recycled.
I chose this topic because I love recycling and I think that's important.
10 years ago, there used to be about 150 pink dolphins that swim in the sea, but now there are only 60 pink dolphins left.
Puppy mills / farms are in fact fancy names for dog breeding facilities.
Puppy mills are bad because they keep the dogs in small wire cages without letting them out unless they're for breeding.
Tsunamis can affect people by destroying towns and destroys buildings, hotels, boats, and cars. What we can do to help people in tsunamis is to organizations to give clothes to them.
I chose this topic because I think that the dolphins suffer in captivity, really.
Captivated dolphins have often been separated from their families. Dolphins are used to being in social groups even when they're born.
Elephants need their tusks. They are formidable weapons against predators. They are also used to find food and dig for water. I didn't know that elephants use their tusks to make their lives easier and simpler.
I just thank you again for doing such an amazing job.
My name is Eric Parker, and I'm here today to speak with you about plastic.
Did you know that
plastic
the
is
ocean
great.
dying affects us
Without
as well?
it, we wouldn't have
70 to 75 million tons of fish
and letters. Are you willing to play your part?
What you do will change the world for the better.